MSI have released their 11th gen GE76 Raider, which quite frankly is one of the beefiest notebooks ever released. At the time that this video goes up, here in South Africa, it can go up to a price of about 80,000 Rand, which is absolutely bananas. And I know what most of you watching this video are thinking, because I had the same thoughts. Get a tower PC, it's cheaper, gaming notebooks are overpriced. But having had the chance to play with the Raider for the last few weeks, it got me thinking along a whole new train of thought when it comes to ultra powerful gaming notebooks, especially for content creators who game, stream, produce still or video content, and so much more. So let me make the case for you to ditch your gaming PC tower and switch to a notebook, or at least, build up to it. Don't ditch your gaming PC tower. This might be very helpful in conjunction with it. I'm gonna go through the price, I'm gonna go through use cases, there's so much more. If you're enjoying this video so far, if you find it helpful, please hit that like button, it helps me in the algorithm, and don't forget to subscribe if you wanna see more of this kind of content. Because I was loaned the GE76 Raider for a couple of weeks and I have an existing business relationship with MSI, I do consider this a sponsored video, and as a result, this won't be an in-depth review of the notebook. But if you're looking for something like that, after this video, go and check out Epos Vox's incredibly in-depth performance review. I'll include it in the cards of this video and in the description, so please check that out and go show him some support as well. I'm going to be referencing information from his video to make my case. If you haven't been paying attention to the notebook market for a while, the specs on the GE76 are going to blow you away. The model that we received is 4K 120Hz, has a 2 terabyte NVMe drive, 2 terabytes, an NVIDIA RTX 3080, and 64 gigs of RAM. And that's just under the hood. On the port side of things, we have a Thunderbolt 4, an SD Express card slot, Ethernet, mini display and HDMI, a Type-C USB port, and a regular Type-A USB 3.2 Gen 2 port. They also throw in a combo audio jack, which is to be expected at this stage in, mobile computing, unless you have a phone. The HDMI out supports 8K at 60Hz and 4K at 120Hz. Being 17.3 inches, it isn't the most portable machine on the market, but for creative work is a really nice to have monitor. At least you can monitor a screen. You can see what you're working on really comfortably. If you're editing video, you want to see it. There are other models available in the GE76 Raider range, ones that we haven't received, but I'm just going to be talking about this one. So make sure that you do your homework and that you get the right SKU for you. Looks wise, I think it's great with a surprisingly slim body for what it's packing and an RGB front light that's become iconic for the Raider series. It says, "Hey, I game," without looking like a tacky Christmas display on your neighbor's lawn for the entirety of December, maybe even November, that you wish they'd just throw away at this point because Rudolph looks like he's died 3 years ago and the Father Christmas makes the children in the neighborhood cry. It looks decent. That's what I'm saying. It looks good. There are benefits to getting a notebook over a PC tower. Firstly, as I said, the price is roughly around 80,000 Rand, or 4,000 British pounds. This sounds like a lot of money, and I know that this isn't a scientific project by any stretch of the imagination, but I quickly spec'd out a similar PC on PC Specialist, which got me around 3,900 pounds, which is 78,555 Rand at the current exchange rate. So the prices aren't actually that far off. This may sound obvious, but a notebook comes equipped with a built-in screen, keyboard, and mouse, although you might want to buy a separate mouse. And I couldn't find a 4K 120Hz display, so for science, I just make sure that I spec down to make it a little bit fairer and make the prices a little bit lower. I'd love to do a more in-depth video like this, because I think this is a cool way of doing it, comparing high-end notebook prices with their PC counterparts or alternatives. So let me know if you'd want to watch something like this. Maybe I'll make a video on that for a whole bunch of notebooks across the series. So for a similar price, you're getting something that's more portable, or actually is portable, and it's got similar performance to a desktop equivalent. It wouldn't perform quite as well as a desktop alternative because of things like cooling. That makes actually a big difference on a PC. Besides the performance, there are a few trade-offs for the portability. Firstly, it's loud when gaming because the fans are all just, going absolutely wild, and it has to make sure that it can cool everything in that small space, that compact space. And maybe if you've got headphones on, you can drown out that sound, which is fine. And secondly, upgrading components is a lot harder and more expensive than a regular PC tower. You're getting a powerful, portable content creation device that can comfortably both stream and game simultaneously. It can handle DaVinci Resolve and Creative Cloud like an absolute champ, or any other GPU or CPU intensive tasks that you are currently doing. Remember, this is an RTX 3080 and an i9. Streaming is actually possible thanks to the NVENC encoding that the RTX 3080 is handling, and X264 thanks to the potent i9 processor that they've got in there. On the webcam side, I wouldn't rely on it, but the built-in webcam is also a 1080p 30 FPS camera, which would theoretically be okay if it was well lit, like your scenery, because the sensor is particularly small. But it is only 30 FPS, and I think it might be a great interim solution until you get a proper camera like the Elgato Facecam, but it's really nice to have something that's a little bit more power than your average built-in webcam in a notebook. If you already have a PC tower and are looking to build a dual PC streaming setup, you can game at 4K 120 FPS and output to a streaming PC with an Elgato capture card. In Epos Vox's review and with the model that he has, he managed to output to a 144Hz display and run the 360Hz panel that he has on his notebook quite comfortably. Our model that we used was only 120Hz and 4K, which I'd argue is a better purchase because it's easier to get a consistent 120 frames per second on a 120Hz monitor than it is to get 360Hz on a notebook of this size. But regardless, that means that you can monitor chat on your notebook while playing on it, and using an external monitor as your main gameplay screen, you can then play the games without any interruption on that one screen. The desk configuration that you end up having is up to you and the resources that you have available to you. And if you're streaming your console, it's even better. Just make sure that you have an Elgato capture device connected to your notebook, and you can play games on your monitor and output that to your TV and use the notebook to stream and read chat. Again, I highly recommend watching Epos Vox's video. It breaks this down quite neatly and gives you like a better idea. And also, like, you can see a different model than the one that we've got. In summary, I hope this video has helped you in your decision making whether to get a notebook or a PC tower to stream with or to create content with. There's so many reasons that you might want to get one. A lot of companies subsidize notebooks because it's great for work, and maybe instead of getting like a traditional notebook that people use for work, you can put that money towards getting something like this, which is a proper gaming rig that you can make content with after hours. Who knows? I'm not endorsing using company gear for other purposes or not company resources, but it is an option for some people. Ultimately, I'm really impressed with the GE76 Raider 11th gen. If I didn't already have a 2 PC setup for streaming, I'd seriously be considering picking this one up myself. I have in the past used a previous Raider to dual stream with, but now the options are so much more viable, and in fact, you can stream exclusively on that particular device, which is great. And if you found this video helpful by any stretch of the imagination, please feel free to like this video. And if you really had a good time here, subscribe for more. It really helps me out, helps the algorithm. And as always, I'm dying to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you looking to get a gaming notebook instead of a tower, or as an extra PC in the house, or something that's a little bit more portable? Maybe you want to game on it. I want to hear what you have to say. And hopefully I'll get to see your faces again. I'll see you on Twitch. I'll talk to you in another video, and I'll chat to you in the comments. Cheers.